ที่ฟ้าเริ่มส่องแสงสำแดงให้เห็นเป็นคำถามเกิดแก่เจ็บตายซ้ำวนเวียนจนเห็นความเป็นไปทุกสิ่งกำเนิดนั้นสถิตสถานตั้งอยู่ไว้ถึงวันแตกสลายดับสิ้นไปไม่มั่นคงจากเจ้าชายสุดล้นฟ้าทิ้งทุกสิ่งมาเข้าป่าดงทิ้งเมื่อไปแห่งไหลหลงบำเพ็ญทุกขกิริยาเข็นกายจนหิวโหยร้องรอยสุดเศร้าเมตนาแล้วจึงได้รู้ว่าไม่ใช่หนทางสว่าง
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Monkchat Live. Is a program that going to provide you a knowledge about Buddhism from our Buddhist monk. We'll make a Dhamma discussion in English online from a remote like a session. We are from different places and get together in this platform and we'll do some Dhamma talk. And I will show respect to most of the venerable monk to be in this live today. They are Pra Sivon, Pra Sombun, and our guest is Bhikkhu Varapo. Yes. Namaskaran. Hello, good afternoon, every monk. How are you? Yes. Okay. I am Prason. Okay, I'm Prason Itasaro, and Prasivon, introduce yourself, each one.
Okay, so hello, good afternoon, everyone, and nice to see you again. My name is Prasivon Lɪᴠᴇ.
Okay, Prabun.
Okay, may I respect to all the venerable monks joining us having a monk chat discussion today, and say hi to everyone who are watching us online right now.
Yes, please, Venerable Varapo.
Hello, everyone. I am Warapanyo. I am a monk from America, ordained in Thai forest tradition, and now living in Myanmar. So I'm happy to be here and discussing Buddhism and discussing with the other monks.
All right, so our intention of this program, Monkchat Live, every afternoon of Tuesday, and also we will have this kind of live again on evening of Saturday and Sunday. Okay, we will see each other online and also with our guest speaker or our partner to be the one who discuss about the Dhamma with us. Okay, I'm very happy to have all of you to be here and say hi to all the audiences who are watching us right now. Welcome to Monkchat Live program. Okay, we hope you are well to do your duties from this morning up to now. Okay, this is the afternoon time. In Thai time, you know, it's not really suitable for people to watch our live because it's in the afternoon, but this is good time for people in Western. Some countries morning, you know, some country like start early morning, right? Okay, our program today will run almost 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes that we will spend time to discuss about different questions. Okay, and let me inform to all the audiences who are watching us right now. If you want to participate to this Facebook Live, you can leave your comments, ask any question, okay, that you want to discuss with our Buddhist monk. Okay, we have 4 monks right now. All right. So, yes. Hello to Faith, Egan, Kaba. True. I just wake up from Greece. Yes. See, in Europe, it's morning time. Okay. Hello, people in Europe. Good morning from Thailand. Okay. Good morning from Thailand. Thank you for watching us right now. Okay. All right. Let me hand over to Pra Sivon, okay, who will be the one who come up with some question first to discuss in our group first. If we got some question from audience, okay, we can bring it to our discussion group. All right. Okay. Hello, Pra Sivon.
Okay, so hello. So I would like to start with the very interesting question, and the question that we can link to the Buddha teaching easily. So this question I would like to start with: what are the 4 noble truths? Because in Buddhism we talk about the truth a lot. So that's why I think this question would help people who are listening us right now to understand the Buddhism better.
Okay, very nice. Such a big concept in Buddhism. Okay, can I go to Pra Boon first? Moving to share your opinion, the concept, this big system of Buddhism about the 4 noble truths, and then we will go to one by one. All right. Okay, thank you.
Yes. So the question is about the Four Noble Truths, right? And actually, the Four Noble Truths is one of the main teaching, or I can say that it's a core teaching in Buddhism. So Four Noble Truths is the other truth that the Buddha discovered, and this is the main teaching that the Buddha tried to separate this idea to the people and his disciple. The Four Noble Truths consider 4 items actually. So the first noble truth is suffering exists, and the second noble truth is the cause of the suffering, and the third noble truth is about the cessation of suffering. So simply it means suffering can be stopped. And the last one is the path, or the practical method that will lead us to end the suffering. And this is the 4 main the core and the 4 core teaching that the Buddha discovered. That is a Four Noble Truth.
So, what is the beneficial of this understanding of this system of the truth and system of the practicing? Okay, and okay, perhaps we'll move first, and then we'll go to Varapanyo. Okay.
So, and actually, this is the Four Noble Truth is about cause and effect. So, cause and effect, like suffering exists. So, well, like for example, we in our life, if we observe, there's plenty of unsatisfactoriness arise in our life. So the Buddha tried to explain in a way that why suffering exists or why suffering happened to us. So he tried us, he led us to investigate what is the cause of that kind of suffering. So that's why the first one, the first noble truth is the effect. And the second one, the following the cause of the suffering, or in Pali called samudaya, which is the cause of suffering. And he led us to come back and investigate what is the cause of that kind of suffering. And he shown us that because of the selfish desire, or simply about the desire to become something, the desire to have a sensual pleasure, the desire to have a better state. So this kind of desire causes us to be suffer. So simply it's about the selfish desire, or sometimes people say attachment. This is about the cause and effect, and the first noble truth and the second noble truth is the cause and effect, and the other two also cause and effect, and the third one is about the cessation of the suffering. So the suffering can be stopped if the desire is stopped. So that's why the fourth one is the method how to stop the selfish desire, or we call it the Noble Eightfold Path, which is a practical path that will lead us to be able to stop suffering. So in detail, maybe we can talk about like Noble Eightfold Path later. This is the basic concept about the Four Noble Truths. Maybe the other Venerable may have some other idea to add more.
Very nice. Okay. And according to Pikuban Varapanyo, who is the come from the a different background of the idea of the there's a thinking as well, which is the Western idea, and come to enter to the Eastern philosophy, that is the Buddhist philosophy about the Four Noble Truths. Okay, what you have learned and what is the beneficial from you to understand about this system of the truth?
Oh, a very interesting part of Buddhism that is really clear in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path is this kind of secular nature. So secular is meaning it's not religious, really. In some ways, Buddhism is almost not a religion, more like a philosophy, or more like an approach to life, an analytical approach to life. So the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, really, if you believe in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, you could consider yourself to be a Buddhist. And actually, the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, they are completely secular. They are just about observing reality, looking at the mind, looking at life, and seeing what is there, that there is suffering, that there is a cause to suffering, that there is an ending of suffering. And maybe this is the most religious part of it, that there is a path to end suffering. And what is that path? The Eightfold Path. And in fact, the Eightfold Path is really not religious at all. It's a path of morality. It's a path of training in concentration, training in inquiry, looking into the nature of things, looking into the nature of mind. So in this way, someone could be a Buddhist Christian. Someone could be a Buddhist Muslim, a Buddhist Hindu. It's actually completely possible, because in Buddhism, we don't see Buddha as a god. Buddha is a human being who attained enlightenment. You know, we can say Buddha was a prophet, or Buddha was, you can say many different things, but Buddha was really a human being. And the wisdom that the Buddha had and the wisdom that Buddha taught is all the wisdom of a enlightened human being.
Oh, I'm sorry, because the internet has a trouble. Okay, can you restart it again? Sorry.
Can I restart what I say again?
Yes, a little bit.
just
Back to, I think, a minute. Yes. Sorry.
go ahead, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can say it again, but you know, if it is just your internet that stopped, maybe the stream does not stop. Maybe it is just your connection, but I'm not sure.
Okay, just move on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, please move on. I think Venerable Valpondori is already talking about the Eightfold Path, right? So maybe you can share more to the original, like what are the Eightfold Path in Buddhism, and why it is so important to understand this kind of thing. So yeah, so anyone would like to share about the ideas of Eightfold Path or the benefit of practicing it to our listeners?
Venerable Son, maybe you can say a bit about the Eightfold Path, describing it.
Okay. Yes, of course. We have to goes around. Okay. What I haven't experienced about this path, you know, after we understand about the law of the way things are, we understand the suffering, the cause of the suffering, you know, and then we will bring it into practice, like the Noble Eightfold Path. That is what we're going to practice, okay, to increasing and improving our skills, or our power of body and mind, you know, moral training, that is to improve, to develop our physical energy, to have a moral life, good life. Okay, we won't have you know, any bad situation to let us get you know, trouble life. So we develop our physical power, and then mental power is mental training and wisdom training. We have right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, right view, right thought. So those things are going to develop our mental energy. So let's talk about our way of life, you know, that we're going to develop day by day, because what Buddha laid out is not laid out, but show this path, in order to let all human beings have a base of, or the foundation of life, to step up or lift, uplift their life quality, to be a, you know, better person from ordinary people, to be a virtuous people, a noble people, or achieve an, you know, arahantship. So I think this is the development process in Buddhism, the Noble Eightfold Path. Yes, that's what I view about this. Okay. Prasivon, do you have any aspect of this question to ask deeper?
Okay, so to what I understand, including the Eightfold Path is divided into 3 sections. So the first one is about the moral training, and the second one is about mindfulness training, and the last one is about wisdom training. So in case that if somebody want to reach the wisdom training, do they have to pass on this process? For example, do they have to keep precepts or not? So what do venerables think about this?
Okay, Boon, please.
Well, I can say something about this. You know, to have a concentration power, to have a concentrated mind, a mind of tranquility, we actually have to have balance in our lives. So precepts and morality is a kind of balance, kind of interacting in a way with our mind, with our body, with the environment that is natural and organic. And so we can say it is good, but actually it's a lot deeper than good and bad. It's more like following the principles of life, like following gravity. So the water is always flowing according to gravity. It's never fighting against gravity. But the human mind, with delusion, with greed, with anger, we have a tendency to fight against peace, to fight against suffering, to fight against gravity. And so when we start to follow precept, when we start to focus on morality, we're learning to let go of this fighting against gravity. We're learning to go with gravity. So only when you get comfortable going with gravity, living a moral life, living a life of following precept, then the mind can naturally get to a more concentrated state, a more cultivated state. And as that happens over time, then you can start to express wisdom, panya, which is not actually the modern understanding of intelligence, like a mathematics or reading skill or language skill. This is a kind of intelligence, but wisdom is the ability, almost like a spontaneous ability, to know what to do, to reduce suffering, to be compassionate, to cut through vexation. So wisdom is always in the present. Wisdom is not something you can, like with mathematics or something, to maybe technology. You look back and you remember, oh, this will work in this situation. Maybe it is true, but that's actually not how wisdom works. Wisdom is always happening in the present. It doesn't exist in another place. So the great masters, they have great wisdom, great intelligence, and they can share it. They can point for us what may be wise, may be wisdom. Like the Buddha, he points to us what will be wise, how to act wisely. But wisdom is not the idea about acting wisely. It is really the expression of it. And that's not something that exists outside of this present moment. So yeah, Sila, Samadhi, Panya is very important in Buddhism, and Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path, I think, giving us the gateway, the roadmap to follow precept and to begin that path of morality, which is really one of the most important, maybe the most important path in becoming a spiritual person or becoming a meditator, becoming a monk, we really have to focus on sila, on morality, really being kind, really being gentle, not supporting anger, these kinds of things. Always taking a step back and consider what is kind, what is compassionate, what is gentle in this situation. And then you can get into concentration and wisdom.
Yeah, wonderful that you talk about the roadmap of Buddhist practice, and which is the center by the wisdom into control, our like morality and the meditation. That's the process of developing the quality of mind to be able to like a high state of mind. And you talked about the the meditation, and we got a question from our audience. Okay, can I show all of you and let everyone share your opinion? Okay, so everyone can see that. What from Faith Egan Kaba? Yes, sorry if I read your name wrong. What would you guys recommend about meditation when you are under stress or have too many things to worry about? What do you think the most important thing to do for meditating and clean your mind? All right. Okay. It's a very practical question. All right. Are there any vulnerable who will go first? Okay. Vulnerable Varapan, you can continue from your previous answer. Okay, concern to this.
Well, meditation is actually a very powerful activity. It's not something to take so lightly. Many people, they want to meditate to have a special experience, to have enlightenment, for all these different things. They want to clear their mind. They really want to meditate. They want to become a meditator. But for me, what I always recommend to people, first of all, is just to calm down, really to calm down. So sometimes when you are under a lot of stress or you worry about many things, sometimes the best thing is not to force yourself to meditate or try to practice some kind of very intensive meditation. Sometimes what is most important is to change the focus in your mind and to redirect your attention from stress and worry to just a calming down, being your own friend and encouraging yourself to calm down, to relax, to come to the body and bring your attention to the body, bring your attention to the breath, to the present moment, and just relaxing and calming down. So that is the method that I would recommend when you have many things to worry about or under stress.
Yeah, very useful. Okay, Prabhu, can you start next?
Okay, hello. So I'm strongly agree with the Bhikkhu Varapanyo, and actually with the it's not necessary to, when we have a busy mind or worry or anxiety, and then we immediately go practice meditation. And actually the first thing maybe we just simply clear all our mind, maybe to change or switch the activity that we are doing. Maybe if you are in the environment that can cause you to worry or inside or busy, have a busy mind, you just like move to the other place or move to the another environment. Then maybe when you get a little bit calmer, maybe you can go and focus more on practicing meditation. Yeah, so that's why there's many factors that maybe sometimes our worry is not because of the uh, uh, environment sometimes, but it's about maybe the story or thing that we are going to do tomorrow or next day or whatever. Or maybe sometime is because of the thing that we have done or something that we did in the past and it arise that moment. So first and actually just like observe what happening at that moment. Observe and see. Maybe you can observe that kind of thought. Rather like trying to thought or maybe get rid of that kind of thought. So the right way, the most important thing is when worry, stress, or anxiety arise, the better way is not to get rid of it, but the best way to see it rather be following it, or try to stop it. Because and actually by nature, our mind cannot really stop. So that is another recommendation for me.
Okay, for what I think, we can go back to the Four Noble Truths, which is going to be the guideline for us to analyze our a problem or a suffering. So we can begin with, realize realize our suffering. That is our, stress mind, a busy mind, and then when we have this, state of mind that able to be with the present moment, and we will have a wisdom, right decision to practice with these worries or this, stress. By maybe you will have more creative idea to do something that going to make you more like fresh, not sink your mind in the problem. You will have a wisdom to step out of from the suffering. So first thing is we realize the suffering is, step by step from the Four Noble Truth. Suffering, we have to realize what Buddha have said, that Tukkhaṃ Pariyāyaṃ. Pariyāyaṃ means know or realize the suffering first. After that, is automatically linked to the wisdom, to allow us have a wisdom or knowledge to manage our emotion, to get a better emotion. All right, that's what I think. So follow from the four noble truths. That is the way to use a wisdom to step out from the suffering. Yes. Okay, perhaps Siwon, would you like to share this? We also get a new question, so I think that we will have a lot of questions too. Thank you so much for people watching us right now. It's around 29, almost 30. Yeah, all of them are, considering to ask question. Yes. Or maybe I step to the next question. All right. Let me show you what do you get when you meditate, and what is the highest state of meditation, or only Nibbana? Very nice question. Yes. Okay, I think I would like to invite Prabhu begin this question.
So the question is, what do you get when you meditate, and what is the highest state of meditation? Only nirvana, and that is an interesting question. And actually, the real purpose of doing meditation is not about to get something, but rather be to letting go of something. So in the Buddha time, there was a person asked the Buddha that what do you get from doing meditation, you know? And the Buddha answered, I get nothing from meditation, but let me tell you what I lost, you know. So then the Buddha said that I lose greed, you know, I lose hatred, I lose delusion, I lose fear, anxiety, worry, and I lose fear of death, and that what the Buddha answered. So that's why the real purpose of doing meditation is not about to get something, and like many people understand it, to meditate to have a peaceful life, and actually that is not the real purpose of doing meditation. Maybe we can get a state of mind for a certain time when we do meditation, but please remember that that is not the highest state of doing meditation. So the purpose of doing meditation in Buddhism is actually to be permanently free from suffering. So as I said earlier, explaining the example of the question that the Buddha will ask, to let go of the selfish, or we call it this defilement, greed, hatred, and delusion. Yeah, this is the purpose of practicing meditation. So or you can say that nirvana, and that is what we understand in terms of Buddhism, you know. So nirvana, maybe you can call it the state. Nirvana is a state of mind that when your mind is no longer have greed, hatred, and delusion, and we call it nirvana. And you can say that, okay, the purpose of doing meditation is nirvana, and that is maybe the answer of this question. Okay, how about the other monks? Do we have any idea to answer this question?
Okay, Prasivon, please.
Okay. Yes, I totally agree with Prasambun. What he has explained is quite clear enough for the listeners to understand. Because the purpose of meditation is to give up things. For example, hatred, delusion, angriness. So this kind of thing is about the defilements. Because when we do meditation, is about to train oneself to be the better person, to have the equanimity mind. Because mostly in our life, we always think a lot. There's so many things to do. So that's why we feel worried, we feel stressed, we feel anger. And as the result, these kind of things bring unhappy mind to ourselves. And then we are the one that who cling to it. For example, selfishness. So this kind of thing also considered as defilement. So as much as we practice meditation, we be able to liberate oneself, and the more we practice, the more we feel happy. So this is what I want to explain and what I understand about the meditation.
All right. Let me add this idea. That maybe the one who asked this question, they also have heard that when we practice meditation, and some of the master or some people can do something that ordinary cannot do. We call the supernatural power, or could be something that very special. We call apinya. So we have to know exactly that what is kind of meditation that we will follow. If we follow the tranquility meditation or the samatha one, the result, what we have learned, the result from this calm meditation going to give, great power to your mind and able to get those supernatural power we call apinya. All right, but the main purpose of the meditation, the highest state, I think that must be the vipassana meditation. The highest state is to realize the kilesa and able to eliminate yourself from the kilesa. That is what Buddha praise. Is it right word? Praise or worship to this ability, or maybe it is power up, and you will add that. This is the highest state of meditation that Buddha have suggested to able to realize the suffering, the kilesa, and get away from that. But for the apinya, or some big, what we call that, everyone will experience this ability when we have developed our mind to some certain point, or we call absorption jhana. Okay, but as an ordinary, we also can practice meditation, but we don't follow that path. We follow the mindfulness way. We won't get those qualities. Maybe this just only develop us to get a better awareness and apply in daily life. But for the samatha one, we will get those ability. All right. Anyway, what do you think of Pravara Panyo? And we also have a lot of questions in my list. I think they are waiting for us to answer next question. Maybe we will do this first. Slowly, we go slowly because it's very details of each question. All right.
Yeah, I like what the other venerables said. You as well, what you said. So maybe we can go to the next question.
Okay. Oh, really? All right.
Well, maybe one thing I can say about it is that I think the highest states of meditation, the experiences that we should be considering or looking towards is very powerful compassion, very powerful kindness, very powerful consideration, and ability to let go of anger, not being angry, not being greedy, not being delusional. Actually, these kinds of things, they make a very simple person. So oftentimes when we read the suttas about the Buddha, he just sitting under a tree somewhere. He just sitting with the other monks, and he open to receive everyone. He is just kind of this ordinariness, but he is so ordinary. He is so in tune with reality, with a truth, that it's like he is a supernatural being. And actually, it is the same for monks or for meditators. We become so ordinary in letting go of greed, anger, and delusion, and letting go of this kind of egoic selfishness, that we become like supernatural, but just in our ordinariness, just that we can have tea, or have a simple dwelling, or have a simple clothes, and we can be so peaceful and thankful because it is ordinary to be this way. Yeah.
Okay. Let I move to next question. We have a lot of questions in my list. Thank you so much for our, for your participation. Sorry. Okay, this from Miss Anna Wanosi. Okay, maybe she's from Europe or from America. What do you do to calm down and when you feel very tense and anger and sadness and from an injustice, for example, and if you know you have an imbalanced monkey mind and struggle with mental health, how can you not fear your mind? Wow, very very practical, state of mind. This question. Okay, I will invite Venerable to ask. In actually this question we also have answered before that some. Okay, but she adds some like more state of mind that maybe you can mention more. Okay, maybe I would like to invite Prabhu. Okay, do this.
I think we have talked about this point already, and actually about how to deal with our busy mind, or a certain feeling that arises in our mind. So especially about the intense intense anger and sadness. So many situations can make it simply have the feeling our feeling go down, so go very very low. So and actually all of this is all about the mindfulness. So most of the time when just an anger or sadness take over our mind, that's moment because we lack of the awareness and mindfulness. So we belong the anger, we don't see the anger. So that's why every time when you say that you are angry, rather be you feel the anger. You are angry, rather be you feel the anger. So that's why you are angry and you feel the anger are different. So that's why every time when such an anger or sadness arise, mindfulness is very important to step back and see such a feeling, rather be to be anger, or to let that kind of anger overwhelm and take over the entire of our feeling, our mind, or even sometimes it's go worse and become like from the speed, or go and it become the bad action. So that's why sati or mindfulness is very very important. I think mindfulness is the key that will help you to deal with such an intense anger or sadness. And actually this is not really concerned about, you don't have to go to meditate or something. And actually it's very simple. When every time just an anger or feeling arrives, you just observe it. Observe as much as possible and acknowledge and improve the awareness as much as you can. So sometimes maybe you cannot like immediately let go of the anger, but the best way to observe it more often. Yeah. So certain feeling or anger or sadness will gradually declining from day by day. Yeah, at the beginning, like especially for those who never practice meditation or have a very weak of awareness and mindfulness, maybe sometimes anger or sadness or just a negative feeling can easily take over their life or their feeling. And this is my recommends about this question.
For what I want to suggest, Miss Anna Wanosi, yeah, I think apart, beside from Boon, I think we should develop our skills of detach. Sometimes when we hold something too much, we feel so heavy, or we feel tense, or stress, or sadness, because what we have lost, because we hold those things too much, and we never develop these skills of accepting the way things are, and able to release yourself, your mind, your state of mind from something that you belong. So that's why we have to develop our mind, to get stronger from this truth we call the Lokatama, that when you one day you gained, one day you were lost, those things. All right, or one day you're right, someday maybe you're wrong. We have to accept all these way things are, and learn not to attach or hold as what you expect. So that's why what we have developed our mind, our meditation, in order to see this as the way things are, not see as what you want something be as you want, or you go to commit or desire that things around you, natures around you should go or should be as you want. This is cause us suffering, cause us sadness, cause us tense. Okay, but the natures around us don't care what we want, what we expect, what we need. Okay, they will changing. Okay, they will change. They will moving as the cause and effect, things like that. All right. Okay, that's what I have an idea about this. What about the Venerable Varapanyu or Prasivon? Who will go first?
Okay, so yeah, so first of all, I would like to talk about this one is the feeling of intention, sadness, anger, happy. This kind of feeling is very normal. So every one of us can face it. So the first one, we have to accept it first. This is normal. And the more important is how can we deal with it. So in order to dealing with this kind of feeling is we have to train our mind. I think both of you already mentioned about it. It's about practicing meditation or cultivate the mind to become the better person or the higher mind or the state of mind. So we can see that mostly we always take care of our physical body. So we take a bath twice or third time a day, but we have never trained the mind. We always let it go. So once that's something that happened with the mind, so it's very difficult to deal with it because we have to take care of it. So if you want to deal with this kind of situation, the first thing is we have to train the mind. So don't believe anything. So once you practice, then you realize by yourself that how meditation can help you with dealing with the feelings. So last but not least, so the feeling is considered as unstable. It's shaking all the time. So it just come and go. So for example, when somebody broken heart, so they tend to listen to the sad song is the guide to add the oil into that kind of feeling. But on the other hand, if you listen to the different kind of song, the feeling is different, right? So we can see that the mind or the feeling is unstable. Okay.
Okay, very nice. In actually, we also gave all many suggestions, but the most important thing is we have to do it, apply it to our to our daily life to see it by yourself and Vanusi and the others too who are listening right now. Okay, what we can do is try to explain what is the truth is, what is the guideline. All right, I think can we move to the next question, because we have very long question from our audience. Okay, let me move to the next question. Okay, from Miss Alice, I think Alice, no, Hurley. Please forgive me if I read your names wrong. Good morning. Okay. My question is, what is the best way for an ordinary person to learn more about the teachings of the Buddha? Can you recommend some books or other resources that we can use? Okay. All right. Let me go to Venerable Varapanyo, because he's studying Buddhism just only 1.5 years, maybe before that, but this is his month here. Okay, what do you recommend for ordinary that start to learn about Buddhism, especially Western people?
Well, I am studying Buddhism for around 6 years, and just like the monk who was just speaking was saying about, you have to do it. There's no other way to have some success or to have some change. It's just like a muscle with your body. It doesn't matter how much you think about training your muscle. It's not going to grow just because you think about it or you have the intention to do it. You actually have to do it. And so the same is for learning about Buddhism, becoming a meditator, becoming a Buddhist. You really have to do it. So there is hundreds of thousands of books and texts and sutras and so many different resources that one can find, but it really is about making the commitment to do it. And in some way, this also connects with the previous question about fear and about dealing with these anxieties, these difficult situations that come up. We have to prepare ourselves. We have to take the situation, the opportunity, when we have a calm mind, when we have a simple mind. Sometimes the mind is just very simple, very calm, but also craving, looking for something, wanting something. And actually, this is the perfect opportunity to cultivate goodness, to cultivate letting go of anger, to cultivate letting go of fear, doing good deeds, good practices for your heart and for your mind. So in this way, to become a Buddhist, to really learn about the teachings of Buddha, one is to practice meditation on your own, very simply following the breath, whatever it is, practicing some meditation. Two, finding a sangha, finding a community of other Buddhists. Maybe not necessarily, many people don't have access to Buddhist monastics in the West, but there are many Buddhist temples and Buddhist centers, so you can look in your area to find a Buddhist community to participate in, to be a part of, and in that way you can learn about the teachings of the Buddha. And finally, some books or something like this. One recommendation is Mindfulness in Plain English. It's a very good book. It can really take you a long way in understanding meditation and how to approach the meditative life and the Buddhist perspective on how we approach moment-to-moment reality. So that's what I would recommend. And of course, this community here, Monkchat, is also a resource that you can use, and I encourage you to do that. So good luck on your endeavor to learn more about the teachings of the Buddha.
Yeah, very useful advice, and I agree that we should have good environment, and that we study this knowledge, because it's quite special knowledge. Is we don't have to know lots of things in actually, but we apply, we practice. That is also more important. But we cannot go to the point or to the goal without map, and also must be right map or right teaching. At Monkchat, we also try to produce the most reliable or believable source of knowledge. We are planning to have it's like a handbook. We just conclude the teaching from the Tipitaka, but make it simple. We decided to like the first version, it must be only the Dharma for the people, only the people. The moral training, the basic moral training, mental training, wisdom training. And maybe next time we can discuss about this, what Buddha have taught. We also have that flip chart. We also will show you how from ordinary we slowly develop yourself according to this learning system. All right. And what we in Thailand is one of the there is also many sorts of books that we are learned, but it is special. Also, we accept by like widely worldly. It's called Buddha Dharma, but it's quite difficult one. But it's worth to read and understand this one. Maybe I can show you the cover of this book later. It's called Buddha Dharma. This is my advice about learning Buddhism for beginner. Yes. Prabhu, Sivon, do you have any advice about this?
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with both venerables. So I think sometimes we don't have to know much thing. We don't have to know a lot of things in order to understand about, especially in Buddhism, because the purpose of Buddhism is to practice. And many different kind of people, when they come to Buddhism, some people they have a lot of knowledge, and then it's hard to understand because they're understanding from the book, but they have never practiced before. Compared to some people, they're just newcomers, and then they just start and practice without any knowledge, and finally they can understand, and later on they start learning from the book in order to develop from what they want to know. And they also can ask the master as well in case that they cannot find the answer. So like Venerable said that, so you should find the monk communities. I think this is a kind of good idea that easier to practice meditation. All right.
Yes, we should have the Dharma friend or Kalayadamita to walk. So this is an environment. All right. Thank you so much, Venerable Warapanyuk. How do you read this name? Arising.
I think this is maybe a European name. I'm not sure, but if you, yeah.
Thank you.
But if you know if it is a woman or a man, you can say Miss or Mr. Yes. You can say Miss Hurley or Mr. Hurley, but I'm not sure. So yes. Just a Hurley is also okay, you know.
Okay, thank you. You have to read the last one. Okay, thank you. Can I move to next one? It's very long. Maybe it's also cover your face. Okay, let me show and read together. Even this screen cannot contain all the text. Okay, let I read for you. Yeah, even I cannot see all of this. Maybe I have to use my phone to go to the original live to see this message. Okay, Venerable Varapanyo, would you mind read this question for us? Or maybe Prabhu. Okay, maybe Prabhu. Can you do it?
To read this question, okay. I read for you the question. Actually, it's not about the question. It's rather the sharing idea, I think. So,
all right. Okay, please, read it.
I send it by Beatrix Severo, right?
Beatrice.
Thank you. He said that regarding to the concept of self, non-self, or anatta, I found that the more we stay in this worldly environment, the more we are brought to create an identity which, without wisdom, lead us to take refuge in a strong sense of self. In case of depression or anxiety problems, psychologists tend to reinforce the fact that we need to find our identity in order to feel better. But in my practice, I realized that it is exactly the opposite. The actual healing from depression is the realization that we do, and I'm not sure what's next.
I can finish it. I can read the rest because I have it in front of me.
Because they are the rest.
Okay.
In case of depression or anxiety problems, psychologists tend to reinforce the fact that we need to find our identity in order to feel better. But in my practice, I realized that it is exactly the opposite. The actual healing from depression is the realization that we do not have any real identity. And the more we take refuge in an identity, the more we are eluded or deluded that we actually need something to boost our ego or to feel better. what do you think about the psychological approach in comparison to our supreme path? So, Beatrice, I think that's quite a nice sharing experience and question. And what I would say is that there is a little bit of a difference between the Dhammic tradition, the Buddhist philosophy, and the teachings of the Buddha, and something like psychology, maybe a Western psychology. So Western psychology is a kind of a system for changing the mind, a system for talking about the mind and examining the mind and understanding the mind in a conceptual way, in the way of a self. Whereas the Dhammic philosophy, the Buddhist philosophy, is about reality and truth, the nature of the mind, the reality, just reality. So this reality is not really based in a idea or in a thinking mind, in a intellectual mind. It goes beyond human experience. It goes beyond what human beings know, and it's about seeing reality directly. So for some people, psychology, certain kind of psychology, a psychiatrist or a certain approach is helpful for the self mind, for the self that we have, this body and this mind and this experience. For some people, it is very helpful to have a certain belief about psychology. And in Buddhism, we accept psychology and science and all these different traditions. We fully accept it as a way of understanding the world, a way of seeing the world, and it doesn't interfere with Buddhism or Buddhist philosophy or the Buddhist path, because, like I said, in the Buddhist path, we are talking about truth, the impermanent nature of everything, of every single thought, of every single idea, even the idea about ourselves and about what we have an idea about it. It's all impermanent. So it accepts psychology, it accepts everything, but it is not depending on everything. It is not depending on anything. So I think the important point is that these things coexist together. We can have the supreme path, we can have the Buddhist tradition, and we can also understand the psychological approach. It can be inclusive of both.
Okay, the other venerable, share your idea of these comments. And actually, he explained and asked question as our the opinion, the last question, the last sentence.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative with the explanation of the Bhikkhu Varapanyo, and actually a very good explanation about the from this question. And actually, finally, the more we practice in Buddhism, especially meditation, the more we will understand about the characteristic of the universe, and which is different from psychologists. And actually, when we study, so these two different parts we cannot mix together, because sometimes you might be confused about why sometimes people or the Buddha talk about like self or relies on self. Like one of the very famous quotes that many Buddhists often say and talk is that atahi atanonato. It means like a person should rely on or maybe depends on oneself. This is also talk about self. but then actually finally in the ultimate truth, this is a conventional truth, and when we talk about self, but in the final goal in Buddhism, all the practices lead to and link to the three characteristics of the universe: it's impermanence, and suffering, and non-self. This is the ultimate, we call the characteristic of all the nature. So that means for those who practice and to come closer in this kind of three characteristics, that means that person are close to the nature or the truth. Nice.
What I have learned so far, the Buddhist thinking, not just only the Theravada Buddhist tradition, from the Mahayana Buddhist tradition is one sect that they mention about not to try to say or explain something in the worldly environment. It's called Zen Buddhism. So the method that they approach to realize the truth is observing as we call the simple things in daily life. No need to explain by word. They have mentioned about this kind of what we try explain about anatta is more that we talk about self. So that's why they try to avoid to explain things by word, but try to use how can I say, self-approaching individually. Some people get some moment enlightenment while they are cleaning the temple or washing dishes. This is what I have learned about this concept, that if we explain about the non-self by using the worldly environment, it's not real. It make people far away from understanding what non-self. That's what I have learned. Okay. Yeah, we try to share and discuss about this, not that we are right or some idea are wrong or some idea are better. It depends on how you view. Yes. Well, anyway, we have lived from now. It's already 1 hour 18 minutes, but we still have people are watching us a lot, so we keep doing for a while again and try to keep interacting with the people. We got some comments from people that thank you to participated our live right now. Good morning from Alena Turner. She or he, yeah, he said good morning from Scotland. Oh, people from Scotland are watching us right now. Okay, they are stay tuned with our Facebook live right now. And Miss Anna Wanosi, thank you, and gratitude for all the venerable answers. Gracias. Maybe she's from Greece, right? That I have seen. Yeah, maybe I forget. All right, and yeah, from Hurley, lovely to hearing from you. Try to pronounce my name, and is Irish language. Okay, thank you so much for ask this question. For our venerable, we are practicing and using our knowledge that we have learned and read. This life or this stage is a place that we can is a place that we share our knowledge. Okay, and yeah, thank you so much from Mr. Beatrix's. Okay, when Venerable Varapanyo, can you pronounce this word, this name for me? Who give
This
the
name
comment?
is Beatrice. Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Okay.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. From Sophie, hi. Good morning from France. Yeah, it's the morning time in Europe. Okay. Good morning from Thailand. Okay. Thank you for all the comments and all the questions. Yeah, we have learned a lot from you guys. We stay in the temple sometimes. Were asked only the simple question from Buddhist people, Buddhist background, about the danas, the giving, or about the beneficial from give this donation, that donation. But I really like to have a conversation with people from outside culture, that we view Buddhism in different way, as a philosophy, as a knowledge, that we can discuss, like a philosophical question. What do you feel, Venerable Varapanyo, to join this live Facebook live today? Do you feel that is more exciting, or with all the question?
Well, for a monk, this is really a good opportunity, because after a while, getting into meditation, becoming a Buddhist, especially if you become a monk, really the only thing you want to talk about, the only subject you have to talk about is Dharma, is Dhamma. So this is a opportunity to discuss Dhamma. And sometimes the only vehicle, the only way to discuss Dhamma is by having people ask us questions. It's usually the only way. So sometimes people can think, or it can seem like, oh, the monk wants to be in an authority, wants to be in, the teacher or the representative. But actually, it's really only one of the few ways that we can really talk about Buddhism, that we can really talk about Dhamma. And because we have devoted our lives to it, usually people are asking us about it. But it's just nice to discuss it. It's a beautiful opportunity to discuss Dhamma together, and to use our voices in this way. It's really goes back to the very old Buddhist tradition. It's the old suttas. They are always a kind of discussion or a kind of poetry in discussing Dhamma. So this is an opportunity to have that here in the present day. So I'm very thankful to be here participating with the venerables from Thailand.
So in our Buddhist term, we call Pucha Visachana, or Dhamma Sakacha. This is maybe Thai Buddhist term. Some sutra, it will come up with a question and give the answer to make it more like in more interesting things to learn. We got a question. Yes, let me show you. We will keep continue for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. So for those who are watching us right now, maybe if we cannot get through all the question, we can leave it for next Facebook Live, and we could be prepared more information too. Okay, I would like to know how to get rid of sloth and torpor, like a sleepy. Is one of the 5 hindrances when we are doing meditation. It means that this Miss Paul Turnley Pani Chakun, she's a Thai. According to I read her names. She have an experience in meditation practice, so that's why she asked about this question: how to overcome nivarana, five hindrances. Who will go first? Prabhu or okay, Prabhu.
Through my experience, and actually what I have been given by my meditation master, so there's many different way to get rid of the drowsiness or sleepiness. And actually, so in the practice of meditation, we you might sometimes get sleepy, and actually that is a very common thing that usually happen to meditators, especially for those who are beginner, so even the like for those who have a experience about meditation. And my recommendation and what I have given advice from my teacher is that first, and actually, if you are doing sitting meditation, maybe you can change the, how to say, the position, the gesture. So maybe if you're sitting, you can switch, maybe do walking, or if the drowsiness or sleepiness is not declining, then you try to walk faster. So another good way, to overcome sloth or maybe drowsiness, you can use a water. Maybe wash your face, use water, or maybe according to there's many teaching by the Buddha, and also the Buddha suggests, like for those who feel sleepy, you can think of light, or maybe you can go outside and maybe and look at the sky, and imagine and think about the light, and that can help you to feel more alert. And maybe use water to make clean your hand or clean your neck, or sometimes that can make you feel more fresh. And that is the technique that's given by the Buddha. Walk faster, or maybe if the drowsiness is not fade away, maybe the Buddha suggests to consider about the Dhamma that you have heard, or maybe you have learned from the teacher or anyone, more and more. Use more consideration about that kind of Dhamma that can help to your thinking and to be more active. And if you can't really overcome, and this is the last suggestion given by the Buddha, is that if you can't really handle the sleepiness, you just like mindfully lay down in a position of, we call in Thai Sihasayat, or it's like the position of the lion. When you're lion and you're again your head with the floor, but it's not the how to say, sleepy and you go on your bed. But when you sleep, also observing and that now you are lying or observing your breath. Maybe because of your body is get tired sometimes, but anyway, so you have to use your wisdom wisely to think of, it's not about the laziness, So that's why we now try to overcome the laziness, because the drowsiness or torpor or sloth is one of the obstacle or the hindrance that will stop you from the meditation or concentration. And this is my suggestion.
According to Phala 5, that's going to strengthen the power of your mind to overcome those 5 hindrances is the concentration. This is what I think. According to the 5 hindrances and 5 Phala 5 or 5 power to strengthen your mind. It's come like a couple like this. If it's a sloth, torpor, that make you feel falling asleep, you have to keep power or keep an effort to focus on your concentration. When we get better concentration, this will control 5 hindrances. Samadhi will control this. We call in Pali is Tinamita. Yeah, this is in Pali term of 5 hindrances. What about Venerable Bhikkhu Varapanyo, your technique, especially when me too, falling asleep, but how we overcome this, what you give strength to your power of mind to overcome this down.
Well, the 5 hindrances, they are not, they did not fall out of the sky. They come from, sorry about that, a large motor. They don't fall out of the sky. It is something that through meditation practice, through inquiry, through looking at the mind directly, you will see that there are 5 hindrances to this path, to awakening, that come up in meditation. So just becoming aware of one very strongly, becoming aware of sloth and torpor very strongly, and seeing it as a hindrance, this is a really good sign. This is a positive, this is a good step that you have noticed it. And so in continuing in your meditation practice, you just keep noticing it. And when it comes, and it surely will come for sure, especially if you go on a meditation retreat or something like that, you will feel sloth and torpor. The hindrances will really become alive. You just notice it and you keep coming back to it over time. And like Venerable Son said, eventually this becomes samadhi. All the hindrances kind of wrap up together and become a samadhi experience, and they take care of themselves. But that is not something we should worry about, really. We should just focus on the mind that we have, the situation we have, and noticing the different things that are coming up, and coming back again and again and again, coming back to this approach, to the Buddhist approach of concentration, mindfulness, the position. Changing your position can also be very helpful, as Venerable Sambun said. So it's a lot of good advice.
Prasiwan, can you share your opinion on this?
Yes. So from what I understand about the 5 hindrances, this is very common things for the human being that we have to face. So that's why we call it hindrances. Hindrance means the obstacle. So whatever before we can process, of course there are obstacles or hindrances there. So what I want to recommend is, so we should have the goal. We should believe our goal, that why we do meditation. So for example, we go to the meditation retreat for 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, 1 year. Just only in this period of times, so we should focus on the last day or the long term, that we have to face it, and we have to believe our ability to practice, to develop oneself. And one last comment is about we have to find with laziness or sleepiness. So as I understand, there are 3 or 4 steps. So the first one, we have to fight with it. The second one, we have to see it, to see the sleepiness. And the third one is we have to move the position. As Person Moon said, if you cannot sit, or when you sit, then you feel sleepy, you feel restless, then you should do another position. And the last one, if you really cannot stand with this kind of sleepiness, you should get up and wash your face, or maybe just sleep for a while and then come back. So the most important thing is we have to find with the restlessness on these 5 hindrances, because we are with faces, and this is the normal of human being. Okay.
All right. Yes. Thank you so much for all venerable share your idea and your answer toward this question from Miss Paul Thanari Panichakun. Yeah, she's Thai, and we don't have any more questions. So I think before we finished our this Facebook Live, this is the most longest one what we have done. All right. I think because of this live create a lot of information, so that's why people give comments and leave many questions. I will ask feeling of to venerable before we end. What do you think about this live today? All the questions.
It is another wonderful life, I think. So this is the second time for me, and I'm very, I feel very happy and sharing with all the venerable here, and I'm very appreciate with all the question and with all the answer that I've learned from all the venerable here. I think next time, hopefully we'll have this kind of conversation again. And especially, I would like to say thank you for the people Warapanyo, for our special guest today, having a very excellent explanation on Buddhism, even though he is a Westerner. But he have a very well explanation and understand about the Buddhist culture very well. And thank you very much for all the venerable here and Anumodana with all the kindness.
Please, Vaughn, express your feeling after this live.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you all venerable monks who are dedicating our time to make this life happen. I think it's not easy to make it happen, and we are together here because of some cause. On the core, our core is the same. That's why we are here together and sharing our experiences and the ideas and help people to understand about the problem. So to me personally, I didn't learn from the venerables only, but I also learned from the listeners as well, because some of the questions are very wonderful. It is very hard to find this kind of questions, because they all come from different backgrounds and they have different point of views and experience. And then they come across to the Buddhism, so they want to understand in order to take it or to bring it to apply in our life and to make oneself better or happier. So finally, thank you much for us to make this platform or this life happen. And we hope we are able to carry on this life again. And at the same time, I will practice more. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for every variables that I show you to acknowledge all the comments, that we make sure that we don't miss all the comments. Thank you very much, Miss Sophia. Thank you for sharing this knowledge to acknowledge her question. Sorry, not question, comments. Please stay tuned. Our Facebook Live is every day, Tuesday afternoon and evening of Saturday or Sunday, and we will invite different Buddhist monks from different temples, and also if you're able to invite more Westerner monk. I have several friends, so maybe I can invite them to join our next Facebook Live. So for today, would you mind, all the venerable, I would like to request all of us to give blessing to our audiences after we have finished our Dhamma talk, to give blessing to people who are following us, and spreading our loving kindness to people from all over the world right now, that they are facing the COVID-19, and also many variants happen in many different countries. So we want world peace, and peace in physically and mentally too. Okay. We will give blessing to all the followers together. Sapphi tiyo vivanchantu sapparo vinasantu mate bhavan rantarayo sukhi dekha yuko bhava abhivatana sire sanicang buddha panjanino Yataro dhamma vatanti Yuvano Palang. Okay, on behalf of Monkchat program and all the venerable, wish all of you, all of the followers and people, all beings, to be happy and secure, free from all the suffering and bad deeds. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much. See you in next Facebook Live. Goodbye.